Grab 24 Chicken McNuggets for just $9.95 every day.
She scares me. I reckon she gets too tough there at the end. I reckon there's a knife there on the other hand. All right. What?
Just out of frame.
Just out of frame. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you guys remember this.
I don't.
You don't?
Nah, short-term memory.
We were talking, I think, what were we talking about? Maybe one thing we're good at? Or I don't even know how it came up, but origami came up.
So you obviously don't remember either.
No, I just remember Pulse with the big boast. Pulse?
I don't think it was that big of a boast. I just said that I can do origami. It was like during an MPL. And then we asked the audience, like, what do you want to see? And everyone was like, origami. So now we're here.
But what I remember is we were like, could you make anything? And you were like, yeah, I can make anything.
can
And
make
then we
literally
said,
anything.
could you make Bryce's bed that doesn't have the middle bar? And you were like, yeah, I can do that. So that feels like a pretty big boast. So instead, we've decided to actually see how that goes. I've never origamied before, gentlemen.
No.
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I think I
Well-
did it in like high school or something, like
Yeah, I
maybe
was-
Japanese class.
Yeah, I've done it like in school as a child.
Yeah.
But like, does that count?
Now that you're the child not in school, then I've done some paper planes.
Oh.
They were no good.
Yeah, I can do a
Payback for
paper
calling
plane.
me old upstairs. What we're going to do is, Pulse, you're going to show us how to make something in origami,
Yes.
if that's the term, and then there's some sort of challenge.
Yeah, right. So I picked something pretty easy today. We're basically just going to make cubes because what I was told by producer, we want to be able to construct basically a tower. And then it's just like we're going to construct that out of pieces of origami. It's going to be modular. So you have papers, and we've color-coded everybody. So I'm going to be red, and you guys can pick a color.
Shoddy blue.
I want to be the pinky color.
And what I haven't figured out
Pink.
is when I'm going to show you, I don't know how you guys are going to find out.
I'm going to one-take it.
You're going
Well-
to one-take it.
Before we start, question: aren't these pieces of paper meant to be square?
Yes. However, I'm going to show you how to turn a
Through the power
triangle
of origami.
into a square.
We're gonna square it.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
teach me.
Rusty instantly figured out, but I pre-folded this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the upper right corner
Oh yeah, wait,
down,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you
yeah.
create that square. So you're going to have something that looks like this.
It's like a bloody paper aeroplane.
And if you're at home, also just grab some paper and
Please.
Mine doesn't line up.
do it with
You,
us.
you switch it until it does line.
Yeah.
You slide it. You can overdo it or you can underdo it, but you gotta slide it till you get a point. Jake's immediate thought is to blame the A4 sheet of paper.
It's because I think
got
it's
the
not
rest.
straight.
That's hilarious.
Now, if I've messed up a line already,
Sick.
does that weaken the structural integrity of my gami?
I would imagine so. But you're going to, like, you will also end up with, like, extraneous folds, I think, when you're just, like, making stuff in general. Because that will just kind of happen.
Can I just say also, me and Jake are lacking a table.
This
Yeah.
is not a cube.
we can
Okay.
share
A round table
Yeah.
to make a bunch of
I think
squares.
I actually did quite a good job.
Yeah,
you've got-
I've done a
you've got-
terrible job.
You've
So-
got this. We actually haven't really started origami.
No, we
yet.
haven't
And-
even
and
done
already
anything.
We've
this is-
made a
We're
square.
on Struggle Street. Okay, so you've got this.
Yep.
Now you're going to fold basically this extra bit of paper over, so you create something like this, right?
Am I tucking the flap in, or am
Well,
I
I think this is just to
You can
create
do it either
a
way.
the
square.
flap loose?
You can do it backwards or forwards.
Okay, cool.
So depending on which way you do it, if you fold up, you've created what's called a valley fold.
Oh.
And if you fold down, you created a mountain fold.
I have a
'cause it's
dank
mountain
valley.
and a valley.
All right, now what are we doing? Come on, we got to get a move on with
We've
this.
got
I feel.
this. Okay, so I would say do it both ways. So you've created like a pretty sharp crease.
Oh, 'cause we've got to
Yep.
rip it.
And then you're just going to
Oh, right.
Oh, we're gonna
yeah,
rip
separate.
it.
Yeah, you're going to rip it.
Oh, I've botched it. Maybe.
I've got some dirty edges, but that's fine.
Yeah, that,
I can
agree.
live with that.
Yeah.
That is.
It's
that is
actually
horrendous.
okay if you yeah. If the edges are a little bit weird, it's not a huge problem. So you should have a perfect square.
We've already accomplished something.
Yeah.
This is
I just got
exciting.
one. Ah!
Oh my God.
Triangle.
God.
God damn it.
You got angry for me calling
Triangle. That is not a triangle. That is definitely some form of pentagon.
So if you actually have some left over along this cut that you
Yeah.
made, you can just fold it over.
I mean,
Yeah,
surely
alright,
it would
Not
be
based on
easier to
itself,
just
right?
have square paper.
have square
Have
paper.
square
All right,
My
but
God.
I feel like we're running out of time.
Let's boogie.
Yeah.
All right, so now that you have this square, you
Yep.
should have one line where we've initially done this. You're
Yep.
going to make another fold
Same line or the other way?
adjacent to it. Huh? So the other way.
Okay.
Perpendicular.
I was kind of nervous that Pulse was going to do that thing we were talking about yesterday, where it's like, okay, so you start with the circle, And then you just draw the rest of the face. And he's like, okay, so we've got a square piece of paper, and now you make a cube.
So legitimately, when I was
that's it.
talking to produce about this, they were like, make it as hard as possible for everyone. And I was like, if you don't have the basic like tool set of origami, you will not be able to do
got
like
nothing.
anything. So
I've got 2 folds.
Oh, mine's
perfect.
so
what we're
scuffed.
creating right now is a box base, or it's the opposite of a square base, and that's also used to turn into a bird base, which is for the crane, which I think is the most iconic piece of origami creation. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half the other way now, so lengthways instead of diagonally. But what you do want to do is you want to flip it over first.
Wait, over.
So let me explain. That was badly explained. So you folded it like along the diagonal, and then what's still the same way, you fold it against the other diagonal.
Yep.
And then you're going to flip it. So when you make this next
Oh,
fold,
I did it the wrong way.
it's the other way.
That's
It's actually
okay.
it's not a big deal because you can just fold it again over
can.
the same line, and it's basically the same thing.
Yep.
Done.
And
Sick.
And then we're just going to create the symmetry, and then
Chatterbox.
once again rotate it 90 degrees, and fold again
In the same way.
in the same way.
Oh, that was close.
So you're creating a rectangle.
Nice
yeah, 'cause
catch.
That felt.
Cool.
I have a rectangle.
I've got it.
Perfect. And then unfold it. And then if you fold it this way, this is the square base I was talking about, but you want to invert it so you essentially just like push the middle.
I didn't see what you did. You ended up with a square.
Okay. So we're here.
Yeah,
Yep.
push the middle.
Am I here? Am I folded?
And then like along these creases, it should just fold in.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Have
itself.
I not folded enough? I feel I haven't folded enough.
Yeah.
I got something happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've got like a little chatterbox.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the start of how you'd make a crane, but we're going to unfold it just a little bit. And
Yep.
what you're going to do is you're just going to pop it.
Pop it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you have something like this. Yeah. What Bryce has.
What?
Yeah.
Mine's.
Yep.
Mine's-
So this, and then just fold it in on itself.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
that?
Oh no, my lines.
Oh yeah, yes.
All right, perfect.
No, this is an
Sure,
exciting
Nick.
accomplishment.
And now you are at the starting line.
I am so
Okay,
confused.
okay. No, this is fine. This is
like,
fine.
am I
So
close?
once you can do this, I think you flip it,
Close?
and then you get
way am I-
this bat. No, wrong. What?
I feel no, he's got it right, and then you just that's it.
Oh,
That's
there
it.
you go.
That's
Yes.
it.
God, yours
okay.
is so much nicer
But
than
then-
mine.
What do you
Not
mean?
straight.
That's not it at all.
No.
Yeah, that's totally it.
Yours is a triangle. Mine is not. Mine's pointy.
Jesus.
No,
you
you
lost
do
me.
it.
No, you do it like this.
you
You
did it
just
the wrong
hold
way.
it. You just
It was just
you just
inverted.
give it a little zhuzh.
That is not the same. Yours is straight. Mine is pointy.
Yours is totally different. To mine.
Wait. Oh, you didn't flip.
That way. Okay.
Yeah. That way.
Yeah.
way.
You
There we
guys
go. Okay,
unpopped
go.
it like 6 times. Go, Pulse.
Okay, perfect. So now that you have this, you're going to bring one of the corners
Yep.
up to the top corner.
Should I use my best corner or my worst corner?
Good question.
Well, you're going to
Bryce.
be doing all 4 of them, so,
So it doesn't. I'm going to
it
start
doesn't
with the
matter.
best, and it's going to go
Yep.
downhill.
Yeah.
All right.
And then fold it.
And then fold it.
Okay.
And then you're going to keep it like that.
All
and
in
then
the same direction.
Correct. And then repeat for every other corner up until the top.
1, 2. So by the way, we're definitely building these over the Ask Nick Boy segment. There's no way we have time to do a competition now. 3. This is so complicated. Like, just buy a box, guys.
Oh, I'm starting to see the makings of a box.
I'm not at all. I think I've done something wrong.
This is
not
like
a
now
TIE fighter.
true
I think Nick has done something wrong.
daylight
What are you
lifestyle
doing?
television.
Wait, did I? Is this not the right thing? Is this not?
Don't angle that towards the camera, Nick. Be very careful with how you angle that towards the camera. No. Bad host. Awful.
All right. I've got all of it folded up.
I've got it.
I don't even know what I did. I got it
No.
so wrong
Like a
at some
triangle.
point.
Oh
What
God!
did I fold?
God damn it! Fold
here.
Yeah.
this up there.
Oh, like
If my
that.
folds were
Like,
good, it would
I
look
was like,
normal
this
you
right
did
is
now.
this.
such
You need to go up there.
Poor decision making. Okay,
All right.
cool.
Now, Pulse, what do we do? Leave Nick behind.
I'm catching up.
Okay, we're going to now bring the edges in. So
No.
we're now going to champion section. We'll finish this in part 2. But for you, Rusty, we're going to bring this into the middle. As we get into Gravitas and the
Bring
Chiefs.
one into the middle.
Bring one into the middle.
The points. So you have the square.
Yep.
And you're going to bring the sides in
Okay, fold
into the center.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both on both sides. So like that or just that.
You're going to go both to both sides.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Into
Wait,
the
okay.
middle.
And now we're going to multitask of simultaneously doing
To
origami.
be clear, I'm splitting this
I'm
way
talking
or
about
folding
champion
both.
sides. I just fold it both just because it's easy to do this side,
Okay.
but you fold it to the other side.
Well, I'm probably this.
And apologies to the viewers because now they can't see the rest of it. However, this is just a simple cube.
Oh God! What is happening?
ooh.
Oh.
So we have a Yasuo, a Yumiban, and Lucian coming out from Gravitas, and simultaneously we're going to fold the top side of these
I'm still-
corners. How are you doing? How are you guys
All
doing?
right,
Have
I'm
you
there.
folded the mills to the center?
Yeah.
I have a The Sims jam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you're actually very, very close.
Okay, now what?
Tarse, Wapo, a Papa Diddy.
And I think we're, and here we're at a really good point to pause. So we're going to do
Okay,
the rest of this
okay.
in the next segment.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And we're basically done.
All right, cool. Wonderful, Bryce. Just absolutely wonderful. Just talk about draft.
There's a mess over there. Wait, no, Spawn knows how to do this. He's already just finished it. He just drew the rest of the owl. All right, let's get into champion select.
Pull it up. All right.
It's not a frog, Rusty. Not
It's a
everything's
frog. It absolutely
You only know how to make frogs.
I only know how to make frogs.
Final ban of the Rumble, actually from Gravitas, is super interesting. Because we haven't really seen a bunch of Rumble.
Well, yeah.
We've seen it out of Swiper, yes.
But he's
because
also playing mid lane in this game.
That's true,
So
because
they've got
Tien
the
is actually into the
swiper.
top lane, yeah. So, yeah, important to mention that we're going to see Tien and Swiper, because we saw it the other week into Legacy, and it was like, okay, is this something we're actually going to see consistently?
Yeah.
Or is this, we have this game, we want experience with
So-
this composition, but clearly it's being pulled out against Gravitas here.
Spawn's theory was very much aligned with what mine is that this is blue side Chiefs. So this is blue side Chiefs playing Tien and Swiper, which is playing two top laners, which means they can flex their picks better between each other.
Yeah.
And, like, you could look at red side Tien and be like, he's going to counter pick, but I would then just put him in with Claire mid instead, right? This is the Chiefs where I feel like their first three picks could be like, well, could be Zaya Rakan and a jungler with this draft because they've been given the Zaya Rakan. It could also be a top laner with it, you know, and Rumble was one of those picks.
Yeah.
The other one I would say for someone like Swiper is like the Kennen, you know, or something like that. It could be a Camille if they go Camille into bans. So it's entirely possible that that's where the Chiefs continue to go here. However, with what we've seen of them in the past, I would not be shocked to see suddenly Karthus, Rakan, and they're just like, this is our comp now instead.
Yeah,
Although I
very
would
possible.
prefer Lee Sin Rakan.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, it's interesting just like what the picks will be just in general for these solo laners. Sanos will be picked up here for the Chiefs. Because obviously last time we saw this was with the big Riven pop-off, the Riven play that made it to the Penta. You know, like
Absolutely.
this is that composition that you're seeing right now before you.
Was he the Red Demon?
The Red Demon.
The Red Demon.
Red Demon. So yeah, we'll see if something like that comes through again. It's going to be Renekton. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense to me, like an early Renekton pick on blue side here, and then Gravitas looking towards a potential solo laner themselves with this bot lane already locked in.
Yeah. They also... So Gravitas, regardless of their picks, Chiefs didn't go for the Rakan in their first three. They prioritized the Sylas and the Renekton over that pick, which to me indicates that now it's going to be banned. So what do we play bot lane with it instead? I would actually not be surprised to see something like the Nautilus or, you know, an extra bit of priority given to Ayla on having a pick for the comp to counter their opponent's composition. Right now, Gravitas have gone longer range. So they've gone for the Ezreal, the Azir. They want to outrange their opponents on the Zarya. Very hard to be a Zarya right now against that composition already. So something that either closes the gap, splits the difference, or commits into the full engage is what I would expect to see here from the Chiefs. So I would not honestly be shocked to see something like the Nautilus picked with the Zarya. It could even be an Alistar if the composition was right. It could still be a Braum if the goal was to complement the rest of the team. I mean, there's even a world where we just go Sedge, Braum, lock it in, right? Like, that's the composition that we've chosen to go for here if you were the Chiefs. So I'm curious to see where it goes, and I'm also curious to see where Gravitas choose to ban and pick as their last ban and their fourth pick.
And you were just talking about the Sejuani immediately going to be banned out here by the Chiefs. Rakan was the next ban there from Gravitas, and Big Bird in the mid lane, and Zia for Heiru is no real shock, to be honest. And yeah, we'll see what the final ban here from Gravitas will be, whether it will maybe look towards those solo lanes. It will be the Karthus.
Kiana's still an option here for Gravitas as well, though I would not be too preferential to the Kiana when the enemy team has a Sylas. It's always one of the better ults to steal on Summoner's Rift. I'm not too sure where they're going to go, honestly, with their pick. I really like seeing Praelis on those early aggressive junglers. His Rek'Sai was actually very good, so I would like to see that from them. Though their comp, I don't think, complements the Rek'Sai all too well. You know, even something like the Lee Sin or the Gragas may be preferred for compositionally what can it provide.
Yeah,
Though
Jarvan was also a possibility.
I feel like I've said Lee Sin twice already for both teams, so maybe I'm just having a Lee Sin day.
Maybe.
Or maybe I was right and they're going to pick one of the two.
I do think recently you've been pretty hot on the Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good champ.
There's Gragas as well. So it was the other one, basically. But now Chiefs also have the possibility, if they want it, Sonic
yes.
can go into the jungle or into a solo lane. Fiddlesticks, classic pick. You can play him top lane, 4 AP cheese if you want to. Good into a lot of melee matchups.
We don't condone that, by the way, here at the OPL. Only Pulse does his words and not the words of the broadcast.
However, if you do, make sure that if they walk up to you, hit them with the drain and then throw birds at them because it will lock onto your target, and it is actually very good. But it won't be picked up in the end. It will be Karma, which makes way more sense in the competitive environment. And we are looking for our final pick for the Chiefs.
Yeah, Karma a bit more lane priority down in bot lane, if that is where it is, of course, going, which is expected given the draft so far. We look towards Chiefs' last pick and we find, is it a solo lane or is it a jungle? It turns out I was just correct with junglers from the beginning, Pulse, and I should
Doesn't
never
it feel
question
good?
myself. Feels wonderful.
The perfect prediction. And yeah, so that now means Lee Sin into jungle, Karma as support with Zyra into the bottom lane, Silas into one of the solo lanes, probably going to be mid lane, and then Renekton top lane.
Yeah, it's pretty much standard as you like, but the question for me is, you'll probably see as the draft finishes, it'll be Swiper most likely holding the Renekton, and it'll be Tan most likely holding the Silas. Yep. Where do they assign themselves in those lanes? Usually you'd want to say Swiper top laner, but Tien seems to be much more preferential to the split pushing style, so you want the team fight tank maybe in the mid lane, as Gravitas will lock themselves in the Aatrox as a pick towards, you would presume, the top lane matchup, regardless of who it is.
Yep.
So right now, I would say best matchups are Aatrox against Renekton, and then Azir against the Silas, probably for the side of Gravitas. So that can very easily be forced in different directions from Chiefs. And a lot of this is actually determined when you're on the Rift. So during the coaches interview, you may see some weird jank happening with our solo laners, trying to find each other.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of bush sitting, ward placements, just to try and find the other two and see where they're walking to match them. Because honestly, that Azir can go top lane if it's a Silas out there, and that's the matchup they want.
That's something that you don't know, we don't know, and Gravitas doesn't know until it happens. So yeah, there will be some soul searching on the Rift just for the first couple of minutes of the game. And yeah, probably going on to the Aatrox. I think this is the first time in a good couple of weeks I've seen him something not unlike, you know, Kiana, like a big playmaking champion, like Camille as well. You know, it's just like, yeah, it's Aatrox. Not to say you can't make big plays on Aatrox, it's just, yeah, deviated.
Yeah, a little bit more team fighty from Pabu. Yesterday he went towards the Camille, went for the hard split push route. So this time, while he can still split push, you can still win the 1v1. You want to teleport in, have those team fights, and get the resets to be as strong as you can with the rest of your team. And that team fighting addition is actually quite important for the side of Gravitas. When you look at the rest of their comp, they don't have engage, so his flanks will be important. Oh, with Prayless, of course, being potentially engaged.
And getting into the game, we have Volt with us. Please ignore the origami on the table. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, so yeah, what's your take on how Champion Select went? Obviously, Tien and Swiper playing again today. Yeah, how's this changed how you drafted?
Obviously, it changes how we draft for the champion pool for mid lane. So Renekton mid is not something you usually see Claire playing, so that just opens up our pool to play some different champions and different styles. So that's how we drafted.
And I have to ask, because the second time we've seen it now, is this genuinely here to stay? Is this a thing that you guys really like now you've played it a couple times?
Absolutely. I think it's a genuine strategy that we have. It's like a third roster flex that we can utilize going forward, which is really valuable for playoffs and best of fives, so we can flex 3 different ways. I think it's super useful.
And who's the alpha? There's 2 top laners now in the same game. Does one of them chat over the other when it comes to lane assignments? And am I split pushing or team fighting?
It's definitely Swiper. Swiper just bullies Tien to do whatever it wants, but it's like Tien sort of like asks Swiper like for permission to do things. It's like, if you remember his Riven plays last week, I'm sure we all do. He would always just ask Swiper, am I allowed to go for this 1v2?
Can I try it out?
You know, it's like, can I please try to outplay this? And Doss will just be like, yes, go.
Can I please make the Penta this week? Yeah, sick play coming out. And are we going to see more of those types of games coming in from Tien, you know, giving an opportunity to go for like Riven flashy plays, or are we going to see, you know, more stock standard stuff?
Well, the reason we've picked him up is because he's like a style, he kind of styles on everyone. He's like a mechanical god. That's what we wanted out of him initially, and we've sort of brought him up to like learn the basics of macros so that he's like on the same page with us at least. But we want him to be able to make those outplays because that's like he's better than everyone in the region. He's the reason he's rank 1 in OS. So that's why he's here.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
And also looking at like the rest of the league now, yes, they obviously win against Mammoth, a big deal, you know, to try and get first place now and actually just like gun towards that. So how are you feeling about like the rest of your matchups? Was that the biggest hurdle that you've already overcome?
Well, it's definitely the biggest hurdle, but there's still many more hurdles. It's nowhere near over. There's still a whole round robin to go basically, but Mammoth were the most threatening to us getting first place finish, and beating them feels really good and gives us a lot of confidence going forward.
Any more questions, Rusty?
No, I think he's covered it all.
Yeah, I think you guys are just crushing it. So, thanks for joining us
very
and
much.
best of luck.
Cheers.
It's very easy to interview one of the better teams in the league when
Yeah.
Volt's a very honest man. He has all the right answers. You don't need to poke him any further. He just tells you how it is.
How's it going? Well, we're winning every game. So pretty good.
And you're familiar with iBoy, so I feel like what he told us about Tien and Swiper is
Yeah,
amusingly
very similar
close to
story.
home with the feelings that I get from them. Because there was Mike checks, and for those who don't know, iBoy LPL plays with EDG, where Mako is his support. He's a superstar. The reason that I bring this up and that it is so funny to me is iBoy is a loose cannon. Like, he is the most aggressive player in the most aggressive region you've ever seen, but he doesn't look like it when he plays a competitive game. And the reason is that he is not allowed. He literally does not have permission as Kai'Sa to use Kai'Sa's ultimate to go forwards unless Mako says, okay, you can go. Like, that is how much they have kept him on a leash because his aggression cannot be handled. I felt like a smaller version of that there.
Absolutely. Only finding Prelacent in the jungle, though, doesn't get the kill, but that did deal a lot of damage onto that Gragas. But yeah, it is very interesting, the whole asking for permission thing to go for these plays. Honestly, in the LPL, I actually wanted to see whether, Mako would just go over and unbind the key. And it's just like, I'm pressing this. I've now bound it onto mine. I have 2 Rs now, right? And I will press it if you're allowed to.
I just want Mako to be sick one day to see what happened to Gary if he just went hard. Of course, we need to check in with this game as well. Pulse, we spoke about lane assignments, so now is the important time to check that as Azir started top lane and Aatrox started mid lane. So I would say the Gravitas got the lane assignments that they were hunting for pretty early into the piece here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, small CS advantages or health advantages start to build up through top lane and mid lane, which is basically the way that it will play out for the first time. So probably up to level 6.
Yeah, and what you're seeing, in terms of just being a viewer watching the game, we're seeing a mid lane matchup in top lane and a top lane matchup in mid lane. It's basically just swapped up, and the Gragas walks to the top lane. He's going to CTN as he goes back into lane here on the teleport, but the Gragas has already recalled, so not going to go for a cheese dive here. So we'll just be able to farm this rest of the wave as it goes back into the turret. But you can see, as you were talking about, pretty big CS advance being picked up in the top side here for Hayri. 2 waves this early is a big deal.
Absolutely. And also, it's a big deal because of the first recall, the first purchase. It's a double Doran's Boots dagger compared to Dark Seals. Dark Seals good for lane stay, absolutely. Not as efficient as they were, however, in the past. And so Tien's kind of built himself for surviving, for sustaining, as the poke is constant when you are fighting against an Azir, as you were seeing.
And yeah, this will pretty much remain the same. Hayri also burnt his teleport to go back into lane, so we're not going to give any pressure up in the top sides. And yeah, it's just so difficult for Osiris to step forward. You want to CS the back minions, and you're immediately just going to take at least a couple auto attacks on a Conquering Sands from Azir every single time you step up. So this is essentially the game state.
Doesn't look like Time Warp Tonic was the choice there either, though, from Tien. Didn't seem like he wanted to go Inspiration as his secondary. Very curious as to what his secondary tree is as its Conqueror primary. Maybe he's gone towards Revitalize Overgrowth in Resolve, which is one of the other favorites of top laners around. But perhaps was more prepared for the Aatrox matchup and didn't expect them to legitimately flex the Azir to top lane through players. You could have put it on a Parbu. I know that he's got some of his match history in solo queue.
Yeah, I would definitely lean towards that. Tien has the Azir ultimate and
No mana
only is
on
behind
Hayri.
him. No mana on the Azir. He's going to ult him before he even has his own Emperor's Divide is up, but Tien's low. Last tower shot comes in, and it's just enough health from the Triumph proc, and that will be first blood.
Yeah, Triumph comes in very clutch from Tien there. There was actually a Time Warp used, I believe, by Hayri to get some extra mana in top lane, so had enough for a second there to throw down some spells, but they just lock him in place. No chance to move, no escape, and good first moves from Chiefs. And the result of those moves is actually a big difference in jungle right now. CS gap, now a kill gap. That's going to be a fast 6 on Lee Sin, and he is going to tear through Summoner's Rift if he is left unattended.
Man, how bad does that feel when you're level 5 Azir and you get Azir ultimate underneath tower?
Yeah.
That's just, that's a feel right there. And yeah, first blood to the Chiefs. We've seen exactly what they can do when they take kills early. Papu under attack in the mid lane actually turns back around and says, do you want some? We can try and go for this 1v2 if you like. And we'll burn the ultimate, but back away from play. And Donis was also used.
Yeah, popping the ultimate there from the Azir is still a pretty good result, especially now he doesn't have all that increased healing. He won't try and 1v2 anymore. Lee Sin is already level 6 as well, however, so keep that in mind. Gragas has just ticked 5, so maybe one camp past us. It means he'll be able to sneak away himself a red buff, probably go towards top lane, have a bit of a kick into the head of Hayri, try and go for that second kill. Hopefully he doesn't die to the turret, though.
Kick against the wall, gets him with the Dragon's Rage. Doesn't manage to land the Q there, the Lee Sin, so that will not be the kill. Tien has to back away from this one. Praylist is running towards the top lane. Actually burns the flash on this one. We'll get the return kill onto Hayri. Tien turns around, see if we can get a kill onto the Azir, but tries to dash back to the tower. Oh, Praylist getting caught on minions there. Hayri following after though, has already used the divide. Gets to slow down onto the Silence, but not enough damage to finish him off.
Yeah, very good turnaround here from Gravitas. Praylist being in the correct side of the map, though he wasn't there for his red buff. He has the Predator, and it's too hard to escape that Predator. It was still actually pretty risky, honestly, from them ganking top lane as they did. Kind of mentioned it nonchalantly as the fight happened, but Azir could have went pretty hard and ulted him under the turret and tanked some turret shots there potentially only. And that was at least in without flash, right? So it's not always the safest gambit, but it's aggressive. It's towards the side of the map where they were struggling, and they're no longer struggling, so you take that.
Yeah, no longer struggling, but the kill in return for Hayri is going to feel pretty good, to be honest, in the top side. He's falling behind the Silas. And now we're back to a relatively neutral game. But, you know, when you look at, like, the two teams stylistically, it's always the Chiefs who seem to be able to do more when you give them a little, you know? And it will just kind of snowball that out of control. And we've seen that so many times now in the league where they'll just run over their opponents.
Yeah, certainly. No big leads, actually, through bot lane as well. It's a 10 CS difference, which is nice. But think back to yesterday. It was the aggressive Chiefs, bot side diving Chiefs. This is the, probably won't see Raze for about 20 minutes, Chiefs, potentially coming out of him in this one, playing more top side as their focus. I think that's actually good for both teams, honestly.
Tien, use the Gragas ultimate, comes out with a full combo, but it's not enough damage to finish him off. And now he's under attack from the Azir, who's going to chase him back to tower, turned around the chains.
In trouble.
It's not quite enough damage to finish him off, and this is just very close from both top laners now. Looking for this potential dive underneath the tower, had the minion there as well, and the explosion, enough damage. Last tower shot, and the Triumph once again saves Tien's life.
He's barely surviving, scrapes his way through once again, and unfortunately for Hayri, it's a long lane top lane. It's not quite mid. There's no turret to save you that close. And so the cooldowns are able to come back, and another spell cycle from Tien, and hitting the Q was all he needed.
Yeah, Tien very much in his favored terrain in the top side of the map. In the bottom lane, 4-man dive. Actually only got popped to the wrong side, but Swipe still got a flash in. Ruthless Predator, as easy as a like, will just pick up that kill. And Ray just has to watch on and support dies. And Ayla takes a bunch of tower shots only, doesn't quite get on top of the Ezreal either, but does burn his flash out of this one. And the Chiefs looking towards this bottom lane tower.
And I think the trade's just Predator currently from Gravitas, but it looks like it's going to be contested actually by Chiefs. Both top laners coming together. I don't know what to call them, mids or tops. They're just both top laners, really.
For this game, they're top laners. Swiper and Tien rocking up to the play, though. 2 versus 2 inside the pit. Hayri coming in from the top, but they're still into this fight. Swiper trading off against Praylist, goes into the stopwatch. Parbu over the wall. Tien chasing after and just back into the pit to finish off Praylist. Only now zoning away Parbu. And this Herald should be the Chiefs.
The Lee Sin Q goes wide, so he'll ward hop over to secure that one with the smite. And once again, the Chiefs, with the up-tempo play, responding to their opponents. Herald just takes so long to lock down. And that's plenty of time for them to rotate. And the Bash brothers are able to walk in there very easily, the Renekton and the Silas, and prevent them from getting it.
11 minutes in, and Chiefs still just accruing these small advantages for themselves. And this Renekton in the mid lane also doing quite well for himself. 2 kills in these skirmishes picked up for him. Ayla being a nuisance in top side as well. We found themselves in the lane swap, and Tien going down to bottom lane. And Decoy and Raid pretty much trying to get to lane right here to collect this minion wave.
Yeah, they cop a bit of a poke here and there from the side of the Chiefs, as Karma is wont to do. Also now, I would say Chiefs actually really need to reset where their vision is currently placed to look towards the next play that they want to make. And if that is mid or top lane outer, either way, that's where their vision will start to be pressed towards enemy red side jungle or neutral in the river. As Tien, he's in trouble.
He is in a lot of trouble. Praylist comes down to the lock in. That's the E for taking a bunch of tower shots. Tien in the 1 versus 2 gets the first kill, looking towards Parbu. Dodges away from the Q spam, and only coming in from the top side. Gonna turn this one around, kicks him towards the tower. Dragon's Rage, Q's on as well, and that will be Tien's 2nd kill.
I feel like people in the OPL just need to stop ganking Tien. We're at a point where he is outplaying legitimately everybody that comes to his lane and tries to gank him, and he does the exact same thing here in this gank. He hits the chains just as Gragas is in range, just as he throws the body slam, locks him down. They're able to make that trade favorable for the Chiefs, and then only comes in to hit it home even harder. Just such a dangerous place to be now on Summoner's Rift is fighting Tien in his own habitat.
Yeah, this is now very problematic. 3-0-2 Silas, and those Dark Steel stacks as well. It does a lot of damage, and this bot lane tower is actually almost dead here. This Silas has just been getting everything. Top side, actually, it's a party up here, bit of a conference call. Gravitas, 3 members, Chiefs the same. Looking towards this tower. Actually, Swiper coming in from the mid lane as well. This is now numbers advantage to the Chiefs.
Yeah, Tien also has teleport and he's about to be back in base. His recall has just finished. A little bit greedy there from the top laner, it looks like. Could have actually been there to threaten the dive. It's still potentially available for the Chiefs, however mid lane is now away that they'll have to attend. And Swiper doesn't have teleport, so I don't think we'll see anything realistically come from them now other than the nice little chip damage that we saw into the turret. Take the small amount of plates that you can when they're still available on the map. Never a bad choice.
Yeah, keep in mind Herald was also available if Lee Sin wanted to place it, but it was not the play there from the Chiefs. Maybe looking to use it mid lane and actually deal with a turret that's quite difficult to kill.
Yeah, actually Azir's just based as well, has no teleport, so Herald's probably being summoned as we speak.
But Lee Sin standing still in mid lane would
gives it away.
So, yeah. Easy predict to make when you can see it on minimap. And there we go. Oof. An immediate 3 plates, and with 4 members here, this will be probably down to 1 plate before Gravitas are able to respond. Hayri and Prayless are here, but that's a lot of zoning coming out from the Karma, and Shelly's still very much alive. Ayla's tanking the shots for the Rift Herald right now. It's so difficult to kill this last little bit of this health bar, so it will stay alive, but now the plates are going to fall right now, and now it's much easier to kill.
Pretty comprehensive early game still from the Chiefs here. 14 minutes in, 6,000 gold lead, though they never broke a turret. They still got majority of the turret plating. There was 2 in top, 1 in bottom mid. Bottom turret is now, of course, gone as well. There's Hayri.
Oh, only finding him in the jungle. Throws him out the Emperor's Divide over the wall into the tower to flash after, and he'll still get the kill.
Yeah, the kick actually interrupted his dash. That was real awkward there, unfortunately, for the Azir. But, of course, still goes down. Only gets himself a solo kill. 1v1 on the mid laner, or top laner, whatever Hayri is this game.
Whatever he is. He's, yeah, now he's on the map, I guess he's a mid laner. But, yeah, it's very rare you actually see someone be knocked over terrain by a Azir ultimate. Sometimes you just watch him get pinned against the wall, but, yeah, thrown all the way over towards the tower, but still gets the kill. 1 versus 1. Now moving on to Dragon. And Ray's in the perfect position just to soak up the mid lane tower gold as well. So, yeah, big advantage. I mean, like, as this has all been happening, like, we're at a 7k gold lead at 15 minutes.
Yeah, the Hoover in mid lane's been putting in some work in terms of farm. So he's been, he's now 2k gold ahead. Of course, so much of this is just turret plates, right? Pretty much everybody that has been involved with the taking of those plates has an advantage. 3-0-2, of course, you saw Tien's plays earlier in the game, and the support he had from Only really started to snowball the rest of the map. And I mean, good, clean game of League once again coming out of the Chiefs. Can't really fault them too much for any of the moments except for that one play in top lane where they just forced a little bit too hard with the level advantage they had.
Now, it's unfortunate that you have a person on your team called the Red Demon and then your name is the Hoover. But we didn't get the double CS yesterday. You didn't get your own nickname, so you're stuck with the Hoover, unfortunately.
If you want a nickname, you come and get interviewed. Make your own goddamn good nickname.
Yeah, but make sure it sticks.
Red Demon's just a good... Like, you have to have an absolute barn burner of a game, though, to be able to nickname yourself.
Yeah. It was just the perfect time, you know? No one's going to argue with you.
Also, I don't think anyone wants to compete with the Red Demon. Like, if you give yourself a legitimately viable nickname, everyone will be like, sick.
True. Who's laughing? Who is that?
Sounds like Zaya.
Is that you? Stop that.
She talks a lot.
Yeah, very chatty. I don't know if anyone, like, I'm not a big bottom laner, but, like, I tried being in that Lovers Duo once, just accidentally, and I was like, wow, they just don't shut up.
They have full
They're
dialogues.
constantly talking for the entire game. It's too much.
All of the new characters actually speak a lot. Yumi doesn't shut up.
Meanwhile, in top lane, they say one word every, like, 15 minutes. You're like, this is good. This is what I want from you, Yari.
Thematically, a lot of those champions just don't speak.
That is true.
As well. One of them's a Croc that just yells.
Yep, Swiper in this 1 versus 2. Speaking of the Croc, doing pretty well for himself. Dodges out the stun, and Ayla and Tian coming to the top side. That's the first counter Prayless, and this play from Gravitas is going very, very wrong very quickly. There's the Emperor's Divide as well, courtesy of Silence for a double kill in for the Chiefs.
And I really just don't think the Gravitas have any other options. They were looking at the play. It was a very down-tempo type of play. It's not the one that they wanted. It was an opportunity. Chiefs still had teleports available on 2 of their members. They both teleport to Swiper. Of course, they're going to keep him alive. And of course, he's going to stay alive long enough for those teleports to come in. So they just react accordingly. They make a good play, Chiefs, and on the back of what feels like a bit of desperation 17 minutes in already from Gravitas.
Don't see that very often. Decoy actually using the Tongue Lash and Devour combo to grab the Raptor at range. Gobbles it up, throws it to his AD carry. But outside of that small victory, in the bottom lane, Tien missing his skill shots, and Hayreed looking for this potential turn because the teleport's coming in, but Tien has opened up too much distance. He is too far away, and he will not be able to follow up.
Yeah, speedy boy. Just get himself out to safety. No worries at all, Tien. That's the type of fight where I'm sure he got permission from DOS, from Swiper before he chose to take it.
Please may I outplay this bottom laner? You have permission. I really hope it's exactly like that, you know?
May it, please, sir, may I have some 1v1s?
Hands him the contract. It's like, yes.
I think of like an action movie. Swiper's just farming. 3
Take the
people are
shot.
fighting 10. He's like, can I fight them yet? He's like, not yet. Not yet. Now.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Pulls off the leash. Swiper says, you know what? I'll do it myself. Goes to the bottom lane and is now facing off against Hayri. It's not a good game for the Big Bird, unfortunately. Out of laning phase.
Unfortunately, it's just going to be the word of this game. Gravitas, you know, you think the trajectory of this team, they've been playing very good League of Legends. Only's playing with his food. That's pretty much literally what that was. Maybe if someone was there, he hits a kick, but otherwise, no big deal.
Yep.
Hey, Gravitas, they've been playing incredibly well lately.
Absolutely.
They have so much momentum, and unfortunately for them, their momentum has found a brick wall of an opponent. You know, Chiefs came in, they were angry. They wanted to smash Mammoth, they did. It was a very convincing game from them, and credit to Chiefs for that, but unfortunately for Gravitas, they're that extra piece that is still here as the brick wall just starts coming towards them. And what choice do you have but to just cop it?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, a Gravitas, last 5 games, they've won 4. You know, that's a big deal. Like, an 80% win rate for a team who were at the bottom with Legacy for basically the entire split. But unfortunately, yeah, this isn't so much as a hurdle as it is, as you said, a brick wall in the form of the Chiefs. And when this is the Chiefs coming hot off a win against Mammoth, it's like, really, is there a chance? Is this a game that we really look towards and winning? If you win it, great, you know, like, perfect. That's, like, the best possible momentum swing. But I think you're okay if you're Gravitas winning the majority of your games that on Chiefs and then beating everybody else.
We're just playing some mind games now. We'll see how far Pabu can get himself away.
It's Pavu on the run. He's being spotted by Tien. Cops are on his... Yeah, there's no escaping. Police sirens.
20 minutes in as well. They could go towards Baron if they wanted to put some control in that area. Gravitas very much aware of it, however, are going to try and, I would say, get some vision, maybe a deep ward, maybe a teleport flank of some kind while the Chiefs do this dragon. Top lane outer turret is also a place that they are considering, but it's too dangerous. They can't step up and hit the turret.
Yep, we're 20 minutes in, and it's problematic that Baron is very much on the menu here for the Chiefs. They have full control over the area. There are wards on the opposite side of the Baron, however, but they're actually just going to start it here in vision. That was fully spotted out by Gravitas.
Yeah, that wasn't necessary from Only as well. He doesn't need to be spotted in that process. But
Hey, by the way, guys, we're on Baron if you would like to come over.
yeah, he's really just sounded the alarms and said, we are hitting this, stop us if you can. It's at 6,000. Tien's now going to take his turn to make sure that they know it's still being done. Blue trinkets come out. I don't think they can stop it at all.
Nope, Tien is too much of a gatekeeper. Completely stops players from getting anywhere near the pit for a potential steal. And Chiefs just get away with it. Daylight robbery. Pick up the Baron, go back to base. And now we're looking at a 12,000 goal lead. That is an eye-watering goal lead at 21 minutes.
This is a terrifying moment for Gravitas. And this is like their one moment to go against the grain and make a play. But like even then, Raze is aware. Like where else could they possibly be? Why are they not catching the mid-wave? They're cheesing me, but what bush? And then finds them instantly. That's it. Like, that was the play for Gravitas. Maybe a moment to get a pick, maybe slow down the Baron buff. But now you have to look at the items that the Chiefs have got, because they've got a stopwatch on both of their diving members and a Guardian Angel on the other one.
Yep.
So this is, like, they will dive you. You have to stop them before they even get set up. And that's what they're trying to do now.
Going for a surprise play though with the flank. They're already taking a lot of damage. Ayla rooting down the diver. Will take out the Greg. So now Hayri running back towards Oni if they can get this kill onto the Lee Sin. But he goes into his stopwatch as well. Dodges away. Pabu follows up and flashes for the kill. Hayri flashing the wall. Ayla on his heels, however.
Meanwhile, top lane, winning the game.
Another 1 versus 1 between Azir and Karma. Tries to dodge out the Q. Not going to happen. And Tien, not even a part of that fight. Just pushing the top lane. Cracks open the inhibitor and the tower. And now he's just pushing into the base. Almost one-shots Ezreal with his own ultimate. Pabu sets forward, gets deleted out from Tien. And now, geez, we're actually just looking for the win.
Yeah, they may just end the game right here. Gravitas still have 3 alive. They can try and fight, but I don't think they can do anything.
And the Chiefs' rampage continues in the OPL as they will find themselves another 2-0 week going into week 9.
Another good, clean game, honestly, coming out of them. Yesterday was dominance through the early game. Today felt a little bit slower.